body's fallen apart. I can no longer do what I once could do.
Grosvenor presented me with this opportunity to learn the game of poker.
I'll have some of the best poker players on the planet give me tips, give me guidelines.
He's doing things that we've told him not to do.
And we just played hour upon hour of heads-up poker. And next you know, I started winning.
Oh, full house. Woo!
I'm moving forward in a big way.
He's one of the best ever that I've worked with.
He's come a long way, having known nothing just 7, 8 months ago.
For me to just accept defeat, it doesn't sit well with me.
I don't just want to enter Goliath as a gimmick, I want to win.
This is KUGAN CASSIUS for iFL TV in association with MTK Global. He does look like he's abroad, but he's not. He's
no.
Mr. David Haye, or Captain Haymaker, should I call him now?
Captain Haymaker, yeah, that's the one, Captain Haymaker. What do you think? Do you watch the documentary?
Yeah, so I did watch it. I watched it a couple of days ago, and yeah, I thought that if you watch the first half hour and see how disinterested you were in the whole poker thing, and then to where you got to, is quite remarkable.
Yeah, I think it's more about learning as well, the way different people learn. Basically, I'm not sure if you gave anyone any background on this. I took part in a challenge with Grosvenor Casino. They have like the biggest poker tournament in the world called Goliath in Coventry in August. And they said if I trained for a year, how well do I think I would do in it? And obviously me and my big ego, I'd retired from boxing. If they said if you had a year to go into a poker tournament and you could train every day, how would you do? I was like, I'd win it, obviously, because I'm that guy. And obviously the first few weeks of training first few months wasn't really getting to grips with how poker's played. And it actually took me going over to the Philippines with Audley Harrison, of all the people, to really get my teeth into the nuances of poker and to really understand it. And it was a year journey that was actually really, really fun, and got a great fun documentary that documents all of it, which comes out on the 17th of this month on Amazon Prime. So, yeah. What do you think of it?
Yeah, I did find it quite interesting. It was good to see kind of the different people that were involved in kind of helping you on your journey as well, because it looked from watching the documentary that the person that had the most impact on kind of how you were progressing was Audley Harrison. You seem to kind of really kind of connect like poker-wise with him, taking yourself out to the Philippines. And yeah, I didn't think the people back home looked... Your coaches back home looks massively impressed with that, but it is what it is.
I've never been good at the sort of the tried and tested sort of schoolroom learning. The academic way it's done here with a whiteboard on there, and you're supposed to write the questions and research on books. I'm just the type of guy. Let's start playing. I'll figure it out as I go. Audley understood that, so he then just played with me, just played with me constantly. And after I make a mistake or after I do something good, he'd ask me why I did what I did. And if I explained to him why I did it, and sometimes I'd win a hand, and what I explained to him didn't make sense. And although just because you win a hand doesn't mean it was the right thing to do. And so he was good at letting me understand that, poker's about odds. You can only get so lucky. When you've probably got about 20% luck and 80% skill. And when you first start, it's the other way around. But as time goes on, the more skillful you get, the more luck you seem to have, and the further in the tournament you seem to go. So, Audley was a massive sort of inspiration and sort of upgraded my poker knowledge, as he's been playing for years. He used to live in Las Vegas, so he was around a poker table. So he's got a lot of knowledge to pass on.
I think if I'm rightly saying that, Audley Harrison kind of met Eddie Hearn on the poker scene years ago, before his fight with you.
Yeah, that's right. I think they met in Las Vegas at a poker tournament. And they hooked up there, and then Eddie started promoting Audley, and then we worked out. You know, he was the European champion at the time, European heavyweight champion. I was the WBA heavyweight champion, and it was a pretty easy fight to make. And it worked out okay for me. And then we went on to, you know, back friends after that. You know, prior to, there's a little bit of banter before the fight. You know, called it best of enemies. The fight was named as. But we'd been very, very good friends since I was like 17. We used to both box for England. He was super heavyweight. I was light heavyweight. We travelled all over the world together. We was roommates, so we knew each other real well. So when this journey started, you know, it's definitely someone's brain I wanted to pick, because I knew he'd won nearly $2 million in poker winnings. So he knows his stuff, and rightfully he came second in the Asian Poker Tour in the Philippines. So he obviously put his money where his mouth is, and he won some big money while I was out there. You know, I won some cash as well. So it was a fun journey. It's funny as well. It was funny. It was fun. It was educational, and I'm looking forward to going back and playing again this year.
I don't want to obviously give too much away about what happens towards the end of the documentary. I'll leave that for people to watch on Amazon Prime. But
what's up with the hair, though? Before we go any further, what's up with the hair? I wanted to say something from the start, but I like it. I think it's a strong look. I think you can pull it off. I really do. Is this the lockdown look, is it?
Right now it is, yeah. I'm desperate for a barber, but obviously I'm thinking about just cutting it myself, but I'm not sure. We'll see. Maybe it changes as the interview goes on. Maybe it will change.
Longer.
But David, like I said, I don't want to give too much away, like I said, about towards what happens towards the end of the documentary. But, I mean, you were in a position at the end there where you were taking on, like, very experienced poker players and some who had won, like, ridiculous amounts of money, but you were kind of holding your own with them.
Yeah. It was... what I did, I treated the poker tournament like it was a boxing match. So the way I dedicate myself in training camps is, you know, what I'm eating, to what time I'm sleeping, to how much sparring I'm doing. I treated everything like that. I'd hold infrastructure around me. So I'd go and play a poker tournament at the Vic the Grosvenor Casino at the Vic in Edgware Road. Every night, 5 nights a week, I'd go down there and I'd be playing a poker tournament. Sometimes I'll play for an hour, sometimes I'll play for 6 hours. But every night I was playing a different poker tournament, just conditioning myself for the sort of mental sort of fortitude you'd need to go through to a big tournament. And I really, really prepared hard. And I treated it like a fight. And come August, I was ready to go. I was ready to go out there. So when I went to that tournament the Goliath tournament, they renamed it David versus Goliath. I went in there like it was a fight. And I've never walked to a fight without 100% confidence I was going to win the fight. And I walked in there with the confidence that I was going to win. I felt like I'd done everything humanly possible to give myself the very best chances. And if I played the way I'd been learning to, then I'd win the whole tournament. So, you know, there was over 10,000 entrants in this tournament. It's a big old tournament, but you know, it's an interesting journey, and one I'm looking forward to going back again and trying to topple Goliath.
Are you actually a professional poker player now?
Kind of. I don't know. I'm a sponsored player. I'm a sponsored player. Grosvenor Casino had, for instance, when I embarked on this challenge, there were 3 poker professionals who were Grosvenor Casinos, you know, pro players who were going to teach me. They all went into the same tournament as I did, and I went actually further than all that they did. So I think off the strength of, you know, my positioning where I came in the big tournament, I think they thought, you know, yeah, actually, in fact, it's not just a gimmick. You're actually a good player, and we'd want to sponsor you. Seeing that you went further than any of the real professionals, I went further than every one of them. So I think off the strength of that, they wanted me to be one of their pros. So yeah, obviously I'm probably 15% as good as I believe I can be, and I think that's what the mindset of a winner needs to be. You can't believe you're better than you are. You need to understand what your shortcomings are. You need to realize that when you think you've got it sussed, you haven't. And I had to take some big losses, but It's like sometimes you take beatings. You know, the beating I took against Carl Thompson, I learned a hell of a lot from that. You know, the beatings I've taken in different tournaments all over the world, in the World Series of Poker to the Asian Poker Tour. You know, you learn, you build an armory, and you become a lot more, you know, resilient and focused, and you can hold your nerve, and your poker face is a little sharper. And yeah, so I'm definitely progressing in the poker world and enjoying the process.
I've got hopefully an interview coming up with Audley next week, so it'd be interesting to kind of get his take on it as well. But everyone, yeah, watch out for that. Friday the 17th of April.
Amazon Prime,
David versus Goliath. Make sure you tune in. David, obviously, I was talking to Eddie Hearn recently, and he said about some of the dates that he had in May, kind of obviously being moved to the summer, hopefully. But he hasn't given kind of a date for the rescheduled date for Usyk and Chisora. So is that something being discussed?
We can't right now. There is no dates to, you know, we can have pencil day. Nobody wants to talk about a potential date. We want something concrete. We want to get people excited, booking hotels, booking flights and all this, if it's not going to be sorted. So everybody is in limbo at the moment. Derek, fortunately, is in a very good place mentally, physically, and he's doing what he needs to do to tick over. You know, he's not losing any conditioning while this process is happening. And I think that's the key. You know, if Derek is fit and motivated and healthy, he can really, really cause any heavyweight on the planet problems, particularly a cruiserweight. You know, no matter how good the cruiserweight is, Derek Chisora is bringing a lot more horsepower than what Usyk's ever dealt with before. And Derek's, you know, he's just watch his Instagram. Like, he's living the life. He's eating clean. He's still training. He's looking after himself. So whenever this fight does get announced and whenever it is officially happening, you know, I know Derek's going to be ready. And you know, it's delaying the inevitable in my mind. And Derek, when I look at Derek, I can see he knows he's got the beating of Usyk, and no one else realizes it. And it's a nice feeling. I've had it the same thing where, you know, before I fought Valuev or Jean-Marc Mormec, you know, I knew I had the beating of these guys, but no one else did. And it's a heartwarming feeling to know that you know what everyone else doesn't, and Derek's got that same look in his eye now.
When we had that press conference, which was roughly about a month ago now, in London, which was kind of the last boxing kind of event that there was.
I have to say, it was very weird. The energy in there was weird because we was announcing an event that we all hoped would take place, but no one would have bet our lives that it was going to take place. And it's a weird thing to do, go to a press conference to announce a venue and a date and ticket sales, and you're kind of hoping it's going to happen, but you're not quite sure. And, you know, everyone's, you know, nobody was really surprised that it had to get pushed back. You know, people are being forced to stay in their homes now, let alone, it feels like we're a little way away from getting 20,000 people in one venue anytime soon in the next few weeks. So, you know, so let's fingers crossed, you know, summertime, we're gonna get all of these fights. There's so many fights are getting backdated now. You know, you got the Dylan White and Povetkin fight. That's another cracking fight. The Tyson Fury, the third fight with Wilder, anti-Joshua Pulev. We've got some absolutely mega events that we don't know when they're taking place. It's a crazy situation. But we got the fight. They're not going anywhere. No one's fighting someone else instead. We're just waiting for the date. So as soon as the world seems to get back on the right rails, we can, you know, the boxing fans are going to be happy again. Dana White seems like he's got the right ideas. Hiring a private island to put on the UFC. That's definitely.
I poured cold water on recently, but you know.
But really, it sounded like find the government in a little island somewhere, send the fighters over there, as long as they all get tested and there's all safety precautions and all that. Fantastic. Yeah, but give the fans what they want. They want entertainment. We've got no entertainment. We've got no live entertainment. It's crazy.
Well, it was it was reported, I think, yesterday or the day before that ESPN and Disney have asked Dana White, quote, to stand down in this situation because they wouldn't be backing it. So Dana White's had to kind of get that out of his head that that's going to happen. And as a result, the next UFC has now been cancelled. I mean, it was very optimistic listening to Dana White about the idea, and it sounded like you said, if everyone's kind of tested and safe, etc., it could have been an idea to explore. But yeah, it's not going to happen.
You'd make sure everyone was super healthy, that the blood work was neat and tidy, that there was no, and then you put them in the ring and they punch the living daylights out of each other, and really cause each other some damage. So it's weird, isn't it, the world we live in?
No, it is. Absolutely. Yeah, we're making sure everyone's all right beforehand. When you're in the ring, it's like crack on. Yeah. David, let me ask you. Obviously, Eddie Hearn made some comments recently about, obviously, Anthony Joshua's fight with Pulev now has been postponed. That was due to take place on June the 20th. And he's saying that if there's the possibility of Wilder stepping aside this year, that there's a possibility we could see the Fury and AJ fight at the end of the year if they're only going to fight once more this year. What do you think that's realistic? I mean,
knowing Wilder as I do, he's a very, very proud man. He's not the type of guy to want to step aside. I know he feels he underperformed. It looked like he did. It didn't look like he was at his best in any way, shape, or form. So he'll want another crack at that. Particularly his people as well. These fighters are making significant money, and I don't think anyone's going to want to step aside and take a chump change in comparison to what they could earn with him having this massive third trilogy fight. But I don't see that happening with AJ and Tyson Fury. No way. I see a rematch with Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder happening as soon as it's humanly possible. I think the IBF mandatory Pulev gets his opportunity against Anthony Joshua. Joshua, I think, is just on a different level. Physically, he's just on fire. If you look at his fight against Andy Ruiz Jr. last time out in Saudi Arabia, that was like a boxing masterclass. He showed skills I didn't know he had. Fleet of foot, lightness of light. He was so rapid. It looked about as prime as he ever could look. So I think he'll chew up a Pulev in 5 or 6 rounds tops. And then once they both got those fights out of the way, I'm assuming Fury has a similar result as he did against Wilder. Then we get the fight, maybe in 2021. But I'd be very, very, very surprised if those big mega fights happen this year. I just don't see it happening.
Have you seen the videos circulating regarding John Fury? Have you seen those videos, David?
No. What's the latest? About what?
You're not really constantly on social media, are you? Because I
need to get back on it. I'm not on it. What's happened?
Ask Nicole. She'll show you the videos. But basically, what's happened is there's a guy from London called Mick Theo who released a video a few days ago calling John Fury out for a fight in order to make some money for charity, he said. And John Fury replied with a video and said, in John Fury's terms, you've got a fight now. Now you've called it on. Now you've mentioned my name. You've got a fight. But I've been told today that it's actually going to happen.
How old are they both?
This guy, Mick Theo's 56. I believe John Fury's 56. Yeah, John Fury's 54.
Fantastic. Great. I think everybody always, but when you talk about, Nigel Benn and Chris Eubank fighting, everyone sort of poo-pooed it. I'm like, why? I'd love to see Boris Becker and, Sampras have a tennis match. Now, obviously, they're not going to be in their prime, but let's see what they got. They're still the same person. They're still, just let these guys do it. As long as they're both even. What I wouldn't want to see is Nigel Benn fighting, an Andre Ward or someone who's just retired. I want to see 2 50-year-olds fighting 50-year-olds or 6-year-olds fighting 6-year-olds. I don't want to see a 55-year-old fighting a 30-year-old. I just think that's bang out of order. Like two older guys in the same time in their life, yeah, why not? I think I love it. I think they should do it, and if they raise money for charity or put some money in their pocket, fantastic. I think it's great. As long as they both get medical checks and there's a good referee making sure no one gets really badly hurt. Yeah, let's just make it happen. Let
Let me just play you a little.
What's the guy like? Is he any good? Who's the fellow?
Just replying to a video of just sitting there. A bodybuilder wants to fight me. That ain't no problem, mate. Don't know you. Don't want to know you.
The guy's not a bodybuilder, is it? Is the guy really a bodybuilder?
Yeah.
See what John Fury here, mate. I am the best.
Mummy's on
World man. I will stand on what I say, mate. I'll either fight you in the ring, and forget about that one, pal, because I fought for 4 world-class men in my time. But let me tell you this, my old mate. I will fight you gypsy style. Don't you worry about that. I've never, ever denied a challenge in my life, my friend. You've mentioned my name, you've got to fight now. I'm all over London with the boxing. Make yourself known, mate. You can have it there and then on the spare of the moment, pal. I don't need training camps. I don't need time to get fit. I'm 24 hours ready. I will fight for you. Get hold of your agent, Spencer Brown in Blackpool. He'll sort it all out. I'll fight you anywhere you want in the UK, my friend, anywhere at all. And you'll wish you never mentioned my name, pal. Spencer Brown will be contacting your people. Everybody knows me. I fear no man, let alone you. And pal, I've seen you sparring. You're no good to me, my mate. But listen, I'll fight you tipsy style, because fighting's too hard, mate, to do for free. Let's fight for a few quid. I know the NHS thing and all that. God bless them, they're doing a good job trying to help everybody that's dying. But you're trying to make a name for yourself or somebody's famous father. But the last thing you'll ever do, mate, because you know them false teeth, I'm going to knock them straight for the back of your head, my friend. So don't you worry about that. You've got to fight. Don't you worry about that, mate. Good day to you and God bless you as well.
Love it, love it. That's proper hype. That's proper hype. You can see where Tyson gets it from, can't you? It's in the blood. That hype, the hype's. So, God, we got to get that. That fight's got to happen. I don't even know who the other guy is, but I want to see this fight. I really want to see it. We need some entertainment. Come on, guys.
We need something.
We're all starved of entertainment right about now. We haven't had anything like that now. My juices are flowing. I'm like, we can make it happen. You know, can you imagine? I don't care how old somebody is, genuinely. If they're both in good shape, if they've both got a good fighting spirit, if they both know what they're doing, let them do it. I mean, what's the harm? It's probably worse for you drinking 20 pints down a pub. It's probably physically worse for you than having a punch-up. You get a bloody nose and a black eye, big deal. It heals up. I mean, your kidneys get smashed or your liver gets smashed from the alcohol. Come on. Worse things happening to people than getting punched in the face.
Absolutely right. David, I'll just kind of finish off by, if you could let us know kind of what you've been doing kind of day to day to keep yourself kind of occupied. We've seen you've been doing a few videos with your son, CASSIUS, using him as a weight.
Yeah. Coming up with innovative ways to stay healthy in these quiet times. You know, the access to gyms are very limited for most people, trying to keep yourself entertained, keep yourself healthy. I think this phase, as negative as it is, you know, everybody's complaining. I get that. You know, financially it's terrible for everybody. Everyone's had to stop working. It's just horrible. It's a horrible, weird time that no one will ever hopefully have to deal with again. But the one positive that's come out of it is everybody seems to be looking inward, looking at themselves. Am I the best version of myself? Once the world starts, it feels like the world's had the handbrake pulled up on it and everything stopped. And everybody first off started drinking loads, then started eating crappy food. Then they're sitting at home thinking, this might last a while. I'm looking at their gut thinking, is this how I want to be going through this phase? Do I want to get fat during this phase? Do I want to be unhealthy? Because it seems like the more fat and unhealthy you are, the more chance you are of dying from this disease that's out there. So I think people are starting to think, okay, if I want to survive this, not only from the disease, but just in general, you need to look at being as healthy as possible. So watching what you're eating, trying to do a little bit more walking, some light jogging, some press ups, some sit ups. You know, me and CASSIUS every day we do probably a solid, half hour of like intensive, in training. He does his press ups before he goes to sleep, his sit ups, his squats and stuff. So we're just doing probably more now than we've ever done before. But it's something that so as a family, I've done it since I was a kid. You do your press ups before you go, when you wake up in the morning before school, you do your press ups and sit ups and your star jumps, whatever it is, before you go to bed, after you brush your teeth, go and do it's just part of, my culture of what I grew up doing. And other people, it didn't seem like that's the thing. But now kids are starting to do these the 10 press up challenge, clap press up challenge. Now people are starting to realize, you know, health and fitness is the only thing that truly matters in life, because if you're not fit and healthy enough to survive this mess, you know, you're dead. So to stay alive, you need to move, you need to get out, breathe some fresh oxygen, you know, eat healthy, do some press ups, do some walking, do something, keep moving. We have to move. And I think, you know, as terrible as this time is, I think it's upgraded everybody's interest in health and fitness. And, you know, I'm going to keep doing more videos with CASSIUS. I'm going to probably start doing some live streaming stuff of some of the stuff we do. We really enjoy it. And it's, you know, it's a lifestyle that a lot of more people are starting to understand has big, massive beneficial effects, not only on them physically, but mentally as well. You know, there's nothing worse than sitting around stewing at how unhealthy you are. You know, you can get up, you can do it, and it's not that difficult. Once you get into a habit of doing it, you do it without thinking. So, you know, I'm trying to take as many positives from what seems to be a negative scenario as possible. And, you know, I'm as healthy as I've ever been right now. You know, I haven't got no reason to be, but ever since I started hearing about this corona thing, it's like weird. It's like I went into sort of training camps, like, okay, there's something out there that's attacking people who are unhealthy. Okay, let's be as healthy as possible. Let's watch what you eat. Let's do more training. Let's really look after yourself. And I feel as good as I've ever felt. I give my body a nice little rest, you know, over the last couple of years. Obviously, since my last fight against Tony Bellew, I've been able to just obviously had to rest my leg and my arm. I had to rest everything, and I feel brand new. It's been nice, and so I'm starting to pick up the training now, and I feel like I've got to a point where I can train, you know, less than half an hour a day, and I'm getting good quality effects from it. You know, probably 20 minutes of training a day is enough to really make a huge difference to your physique, to your mindset, to your energy levels. And so I'm gonna start showing people exactly how that's done. But you know, it's just fun times. I'm enjoying it.
All right. Well, listen, David Haye, thank you very much.
How have you been? More importantly, that's me. How's things with you? What's been? You obviously can't go around doing your interviews. How about this Skype? You've been doing much stuff on Skype?
Yeah, trying to do stuff on Skype and Zoom, telephone interviews, and just. Do you know what, as well, we've been putting a lot of our kind of older footage out as well. So I'm watching a lot of stuff that we filmed like 10 years ago, 9 years ago, and obviously you were involved in a lot of that stuff as well. So, yeah, it's kind of trip down memory lane. And just, yeah, trying to just be as active as possible in this kind of way, you know. So there are ways of communicating as we are now. So, yeah, I'm just literally just staying at home. I'm literally leaving the house every 2 days to go to the shop, which I'm back in within 20 minutes, and then I'm here. So,
is it a different energy you get over these calls than you do physically being with someone?
Cool. This isn't my preferred method of interviewing people. Obviously, over the years, I've never done a Skype interview or a Zoom interview with you ever. So everything's kind of been, you know, face to face. But we have to, like you said there, make the kind of positive out of a situation. And I'm not talking about kind of what's going on in the world. I'm just talking about my day to day, just kind of trying to carry on doing stuff. So,
how's your training? You've been keeping healthy. You've been doing some training, and
I was going to the gym. That stopped obviously when this started, but I do have weights here, which I haven't been doing as often as I really can be.
Just do 100 press ups a day. Do sets of 15 or 20, whatever it is. Just try and just get 100 out the way. So, you know, worst ways, Monday to Friday, you've done 500 press ups. And
in the bank, yeah.
Just get them in the bank. Whether it's sit-ups, press-ups, stuff, just have a list. And every time you do it, and you go to notes on your phone and do 20, just put 20. So at the end of the week, you go, bloody hell, I've done 1,000 different reps of different things. Compare that to the week before that, and each week you try and improve on it. And you'll see a difference in your body. You don't sitting around thinking about not going to the gym doesn't help. So just literally marginal gains every day. Just do something. Like now, when you finish this call, drop down, give yourself 20 press ups. You'll be able to do it, even 15 or whatever it is you can do. Just get them, just keep knocking them out. Before you go toilet, before you go and take a piss, go and do 20 press ups or after it. So here you go. You're doing it. I love it. Just get used to doing something. There you go. Yeah, they're fake press ups. I don't want them.
You know, I know what you used to get people to do.
Yeah, I haven't done that for a while.
yeah, just a couple of points, David. Obviously, this interview was done. I'll just let people know on Saturday, the 11th of April, just because I always find when you do interviews, this is obviously, we're putting this out to coincide.
What happened between now and then? It's like, why didn't you mention
exactly? So if I say that we did this
of aliens, surely you should mention that happened today. You know, okay.
Yeah. So, and just, yeah, finally, your documentary, David versus Goliath, is out Friday, the 17th of April, Amazon Prime. Make sure you tune in to see your journey into Captain Haymaker.
Captain Haymaker, yeah. No one knows what the hell you're talking about, but when they watch it, they'll get it. It's a fun documentary, 90 minutes. It's nice to tune in.
I just got to say, I was watching, I found the 3 professional poker players that were training you from the UK. They were just not impressed with you at all, were they?
They wasn't, were they? Yeah, they weren't that impressed with. I think what it was, I didn't really pay much attention at school. I was never a very good student because I wasn't interested in the way that I was being taught. You know, I might have been interested in a subject. I might be interested in history, but sitting down in a class, reading the book about it, and no, just tell me the story. I'll hear it, process it, and then I'll know it. But, you know, let me play the game and let me figure it out as I go. But trying to have a PowerPoint presentation and memorizing this, that, and read this book and read that book, that's not how I learn. It's like trying to learn boxing from a Boxing 101 book. You can't learn how to slip a jab by reading a book. You've got to actually get punched in the face a few times, then realize, okay, I'm going to move my head that way and it's going to go past me. So I think maybe they all learn what they learned from books and from, you know, maybe they're really highly educated and they have PhDs in whatever it is they do. So maybe they thought that's the only way to teach someone something. But I found a way after all how to upgrade the poker knowledge into my brain, and we got there in the end, and it worked out okay.
It was a good story. It was definitely a good watch. So make sure everyone tune into that. So yeah, David,
do you play poker?
You know what? I was saying this to Nicole the other day that I used to know how to play poker probably 15 years ago. I've actually forgotten how to play it because I haven't played it.
I have a game once a week down at my
You asked me to come before when I saw you in London, remember? Yeah.
You're my perfect type of player. You haven't played for 15 years.
No.
Barely know the rules. You're literally, if you know any other guys with the same credentials of you, come down, honestly.
I'll 100% come down to your next one when we're out of this situation, hopefully sooner rather than later.
Let's hope so. Let's hope it's a few weeks away, not months.
Definitely. David Haye, thank you very much. Keep yourself safe, you and your family, and we'll definitely catch up with you again soon.
100%, guys. Keep doing your thing, bro. Love the hair, love the new style, and let's do this. There you go.
Thank you very much, David Haye.
Yeah.